already poor. But even me, being on the bottom of that totem pole, I still have been noticing major changes. All the way from like government benefits to price of gas, the price of groceries, how much it costs for me to be able to take care of just me and my son, shit, my pets. I don't know. This is on my mind and my heart because over the last few months, I've been seeing nothing but YouTube videos about content creators creating compilations of tons of TikTok videos of people saying, hey, the job market sucks. Hey, I quit. Why don't people want to work anymore? Why doesn't Jen whatever want to do this anymore? Why do people feel so blah, 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 blah? And I've been just sitting back and patiently watching, and I remember going through that same thing. Now, granted, when I had my awakening, I was in the trades. I was an electrical apprentice for the IBEW, and something just snapped in pandemic, and it made me pivot. I had to pivot. I had no choice. Like, everything within me I felt so compelled spiritually, and I don't mean to sound crazy and cuckoo, because I know how some people are, but like, I'm not wearing rhinestones and rocks from my neck and crystals and shit. And it's cool, some people believe in that, but I'm not that type of person. So if I feel that type of calling, then that goes to show how urgent it was. I'm a very down-to-earth person. I'm a very let's figure this shit out, let's get it done type of person. And man, I couldn't do anything else but get on the path that I am right now. And I think that's an interesting point that ties back into my original part of the video, which is the problem is everyone isn't able to survive on their own anymore. Like, we've created a country and a society where you can't just be a hunter-gatherer. As facetious as that may seem, as reductive as that may seem to the greater parts of society, there's great parts about this society. There's great things about how we can all pitch together, if the government is utilizing our funds correctly, of course, to be able to have nice streets, nice roads, healthcare, helping the people who don't have anything, helping disabled people, helping people who can't get on their feet. I'm all for all of that. But in a society where we all, in some way, shape, or form, rely on corporations to keep the ball turning, what happens when something like this happens and the economy is down? And it makes me think about how fortunate I feel to have faced that awakening back in 2020. I'm 5 years in and I'm still struggling to make ends meet, but I'm coming across more money every year. And despite me hitting that, however much my company generated that year, going from a 12,000 to the 80s, like, I do feel a difference. And I felt like, man, once you start making this type of money, it should feel way different. And it doesn't. I still feel poor. I'm more creative than I've ever been. I have more gear than I've ever had. I have a van now that I can utilize and you know, build a company with, thanks to a very, very dear friend of mine, an investor. But there's a shift in the way I think the world's going to operate after the pandemic. And I know everyone knows this, but I feel like as a man, or even just the head of the household, because I was raised by a single mother, and she was definitely holding shit down. How can you put your livelihood in the hands of someone who doesn't give a fuck about you? Like, think about that. How can you just get up and say, oh yeah, I'm going to go to Walmart and go to work. I'm going to go to Target and go to work. I'm going to go to the gas station and stock whatever I'm stocking, or you know what I mean? And the moment that they no longer need you, cut. The moment that they can no longer afford you, which I get it, it's business. I understand it's a business. But why would you put yourself in that situation where your livelihood is dependent on someone else either saying yes or no in a board meeting to keep this half of the seaboard worth of workers? I'm assuming that however many thousands of years ago, we all had our own trades. Like when you were a shoemaker, or you were a, what is another word? Cobbler. Like your last name dictated what your family was doing to make a living. It was a trade bartering system. And now we don't even really live in packs or families. We don't even stay in the on the same block, let alone the same city or state. And we don't have a niche. Everyone's family doesn't have a niche. Like, I go back to anime when I think about this type of stuff. Like, the Uzumaki clan was known for chakra. The Choji clan was known for being able to shrink, or not shrink, but expand and eat a lot. And they have great food, and you know what I'm saying? And the Shikamaru's clan was all intelligent. They were thinkers, strategists. Ino's clan was... They were able to astral project their bodies. So, you know what I'm saying? And I know that sounds crazy, but I'm an anime baby. I'm an anime kid. We don't have that anymore. So when you can't find a job, which no one can find a job, and the people who do have a job hate their jobs, or they feel like they're overworked because they're downsizing so much, I don't think that I am ever going to be in a position where I could ever accept what I used to accept. And I was a hard worker. I started working at 14 all the way up to 27. And it's like, man, how can you put your life, your child's life, your wife's life in someone else's hands? I get if it went good for 5 years, 3 years, 4 years, 10 years. But eventually, when shit hits the fan, you spent 10, 25, 10 years building up another man's ship, and now you don't got a paddle or a boat. And when your family drown, and you hope that he extends a hand, you hope that the government gives you unemployment, you hope that you get a severance package to keep you afloat until you find another job. But how can you, on some Dame Dash shit, like, how can you, as a man, as a provider, even as a woman and a mom who's taking care of everything, how can you not want to be a boss? I get it, it's a lot of work. But in the very least, you know you are in control of your own destiny. And I say this with no judgment, or as little judgment as I can, because I don't want to be divisive, but to me, it's insane if I was to ever go back to that motto of expecting another man to pay me to do what he needs me to do to make him richer. Even as a contractor or a boss, you're doing work for a client because the client needs you to do this. I understand there's still an exchange, but it's not the same. If I don't like this client and how this client is treating me, then I'm moving around. You know what I'm saying? And if I don't like anything about this, I'm moving around. If this don't feel like good business to me, I'm moving around. If I need to get more work, I need to hustle harder. If I need to prioritize my family more, I need to work less and hire people to help me. And that's how the cycle continues, because then my platform gets built, and now I'm hiring other people who don't even have a desire to be a boss, and now they're at my beck and call and my whim. And granted, morally, ethically, I think that I would treat them better than the average person who owns a business would, but at the end of the day, it's business, right? But the only people who look at it as business are the business owners. The people who work underneath the business owners are looking at it like, hey, look, this is how I take care of my family. There's a nuanced conversation and perspective here. And I wonder if people think about that enough. Because we get so indoctrinated into going to school, learning how to be a good worker at school, learning how to work in a factory. But the factory jobs are no longer here. And even if they were here, is that the type of life you want to live? I would rather suffer. I would rather be without. I would rather go through what I went through over the last 5 years than be at another man's beck and call at whatever motherfucking time. And it's different if I'm doing it for an opportunity to better myself. For example, I'm a filmmaker. You don't think if Tyler Perry said, hey, bro, I need you to come to Atlanta for a year, I'm going to teach you everything I know. I need to teach the next generation of creators this. I need to be able to, not only have a solidified legacy, because my legacy is solidified, but I need to teach the next generation because it's more than just about me. Shit, him, a Spike Lee, a Jordan Peele, a Michael B. Jordan, whoever you want to name. Like, if any of them were to call me and say, hey, bro, I need you to come do this work for me, and I need you to come be under my tutelage and be a protege to me, or be an assistant to me. Okay, cool, bet. I don't have an ego in that regard, because at the end of the day, they're not just trying to utilize my skills in a selfish way for them. They genuinely care about my growth, which makes me want to genuinely care about how well they do, because I'm a good person and I will look out for them. Just like they're looking out for me by giving me a crazy platform and opportunity to just shadow whatever they're doing. So I understand that everyone has to go through that part of it. But Most of us are having these jobs and we're not following our dreams at all. And your dreams don't have to always be in entertainment. That's the part that I think black folks get caught in so much. We always got to be a ball player or a music creator, and we naturally are these things. A poet, like a dancer. We always feel like we got to do those things to be our dream, but you can have a dream being a chef. You could love being an electrician for all I know. You could love building houses for all I know, and that could really be a passion for you. Some people enjoy that type of stuff. You could love numbers and math and want to have your own firm, your own accounting firm. It doesn't always have to be entertainment, but for me, it's creation, it's entertainment, and that's not how it is no more. 95% of people, I would say, are not working in a field where they are chasing their dreams. They're not taking that L when they're young to be able to benefit from being a dope artist when they're in their 20s, 30s, 40s. In fact, black culture puts a limit on how cool and dope you can be for how long you are in the game. Oh, you 40, you can't rap no more. Or, oh, you an old head, you can't, I don't want to hear nothing. It's just a terrible thing. Every other culture doesn't do that to that same degree, but are you chasing like what you say you want to chase? Are you willing to sacrifice for it? Because the longer you wait, the harder it gets. People think that, oh, I'm just waiting for the perfect opportunity. But look, the longer you take to take your own life, your own livelihood, your own ability, your own talents, your own skills into your hands, the harder it's going to be. Imagine if you tried to do this when you were 16 years old, 15 years old. Like some of these famous streamers do. Like some of these famous actors do. Like some of these famous inventors. There's 12-year-old inventors making stuff. All different races. Inventing things that change the world because they started young. They don't have the responsibility of a dog, rent, a mortgage, kids, health insurance. The list goes on. They don't have the same burdens. The older you get, the more you carry along with you on this journey, and the longer you take to chase whatever it is you need to chase for you to become who you need to be and your best version of yourselves lives. And hopefully that makes sense. But whatever it is that you need to do, you got to start that early. You got to start that now. And it's never going to get easier. It's only going to get harder. So even if you got all of them kids and that mortgage and all of this and that, realize that everybody is going to have to sacrifice for you to get to where you want to be. The same way they're going to have to sacrifice for them to be where they want to be. And you want to set an example. I know they say that everybody can't make it, and yes, that's true, but guess what? Everybody don't try to make it. So if you in that 5, 10, 15% of people who try to make it, all 15% of y'all might make it, because the other 75, the other 85 ain't taking a chance. You can sit there and think about what if and what if that and what if things go wrong, but in my opinion, if I hate my life, it already went wrong. If I'm 60, 70 and I can't provide for myself, I'm still working when I'm 65, 75, it already went wrong. It already went wrong. When I die, I can't leave nothing back, leave nothing to my kids but debt and painful memories and anger and frustration. Like, it already went wrong. There's going to be a revolution, and unfortunately, the revolution comes with pain. What do you think happens when millions of people can't eat? Can't provide for themselves? You think they're going to go peacefully? We not even able to hunt no more without a permit. The permit costs money. In some places, you can't even collect rainwater. I don't know, man. Just a bunch of thoughts that I got. I really hope that everybody is prioritizing their mental health. And I do deeply feel like what you do for a living is heavily and directly correlated and tied to what you do for a living. Your mental health is directly correlated to what you do for a living. And it's directly correlated to your mental health. And I don't think we talk about that enough. I hope everybody finds their way, and I know everybody won't, but I'm finding mine. The light at the end of the tunnel is getting closer. Still so much work to do, so much farther to go. Let me know what you think. Put it down in the comments. Share your thoughts on this economy and how you feel about people who put their lives in other people's hands. Do you even think it's that serious? I don't know. I think it's that serious on a macro level. All right, peace.